Thank you for coming to this interview. Woo!
Here we
Um,
are.
yes, I am Melissa. I work with the marketing with WildHeart, Center for Performance and Embodiment Practice, and I'm with the lovely Phil and Marya. However, I'd love for you guys to introduce yourselves. They're here going to be talking about the retreat coming up in September, September 17th to the 20th. Voice Explorers, Journey Deep into Your Voice. Awesome. You guys just could please introduce yourselves, it'd be lovely. And your background.
I'm Marya Lowry. My goal is to just really be with people and help draw them out from their inner life into their outer expression. That's really the core of what I do, trying to just invite people into being the whole of who they are in a place where they're held and respected for being all of themselves. So that's kind of who I am and what I do.
That's beautiful.
And I'm Phil Timberlake. I'm also an actor, performer, singer, and have had a 25-year stint in academia, teaching voice and speech and so forth. And now in kind of my post-academic freelance era of making theater and still teaching voice to people who are interested in really exploring the possibilities of the voice, enjoying, finding pleasure in their voice. Voice as a full body experience is really what I'm interested in exploring. And Mari and I have a long history. This fall, I'm sure she'll be shocked to realize it was been 40 years since we met and began working together. Mari was my first voice teacher in college. And so we just had a long history, and so we're excited to be to be back working together and at WildHeart, which is really really seems an amazing place.
It's great to be able to come together at WildHeart, one of my
Yeah.
favorite places. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I love it there, and everybody in my former workshops comes away just thrilled by their experience at WildHeart. It's a really special place, and all of the people there are really special. So for me, this year, last year when they said, "Do you want to come back next year and you want to do the same thing?" And I thought, not really, because I have so many lament workshops this year. And I thought, oh, I'd really like to just teach a voice workshop again, where we're focusing on the human and the voice and the journey of that. And so that's when I contacted Phil and said, "You want to teach with me again?" And
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. For people that don't know, Maria has been at Wild Heart before doing your lament workshops on boundary voice that are incredible and always get like amazing responses. And so thank you so much for always coming to Wild Heart. It's a blessing to have you and your presence there and your teachings.
Well, Maria's been talking about this for a couple of years, and it just sounded so amazing. I can't, oh, that last year I was thinking about coming last year, and it didn't work out with the schedule. And so I was like, wow, that just sounds like an incredible place. Living together, cooking together, swimming together, all of those things that just feels like a real retreat from the world, and to really investigate, and explore, and play in terms of some voice work. So it sounded really cool. So then when she said, thinking of doing something different this year, do you want in on the fun? I said yes. The idea of a voice retreat is really a part of what I was inspired by, the having intensive time to work with yourself and your voice, but also kind of unintensive time to be by yourself or with others or journaling and all of that. That just strikes me as
yeah,
such a delicious thing to offer to folks.
Thank you for your kind words. Yeah, it's very exciting to be able to, really get to know the people that are going to go on this journey with you guys. And the way that your title of this is Voice Explorers, Journey Deep into Your Voice. Could you go more into specifics of what type of journey we'll be expecting or why you chose a specific title?
I think a part of it was the voice work is sometimes hard to encapsulate in words because it's embodied work. It's how do you have words about what the voice sounds like or makes you feel when you use it or feel it or hear it. It was challenging to do, and so actually, my wife had said should it's like a journey you take people on, and you should check out the what does National Geographic say? And so we were looking. It's really kind of we were looking at it like this National Geographic explorers of the voice, and so. So that was a lot of the impetus behind the title, exploring your voice, and it also comes from the way in which we're going to be working in the Roy Hart Voice Center tradition, which is to explore really the whole of the voice, not thinking about well, men are going to do it different from women, or you're an alto, or you're a bass or a baritone, rather than taking um, those trying to specify what you're going to work on. We want to work on the whole of the human voice. So beautiful sounds and beastly sounds and highs and lows and everything in between. And um, and so it really is a journey because all of those parts of the voice have a connection to the voicer. And sometimes you don't know what that connection is until you give voice to it. And then there can be more things that come that become possible, more things that get revealed through the voice, and it's also the exploration of listening to one another, listening to yourself, what's in the space, what's in the room. So that's a lot of kind of the exploration that I would start with. What do you think, Maria?
Yeah, I mean, well, it is a journey. Every time we uh, start to work with the body and the voice, we never really quite, and the breath. Once you engage the breath and the body, we don't really know where that's going to take us. And of course, the reason we chose the word deep is because that is really the nature of this work. It isn't to say it isn't the nature of other work, but we're less oriented toward getting something right, making it, organizing it so it can be put into a song right away or in a text right away. I love the metaphor of the cave because once we start breathing and sounding, and if we're not looking for a specific way or color of sound, or like Phil said, that the way we identify you're a soprano or a tenor, if we're not looking to stay in that genre, we're looking for what's in the cracks. What's the mystery? What comes out and invites you, the singer sounder, to say, oh, I've never made this sound before, or I want to follow this sound. And the teacher's job really is to listen and help you follow what's coming up with you, within you, from within you. And of course, it's all connected to body and imagination too. So, but for us, for me, that's a really big part of how we approach this work. It's very individual, even though we're all in a group together or in small groups together. You're taking your journey. And I would just add to that both Phil and I think we complement each other in a lot of ways as to do this workshop together because we have similar backgrounds and we have different backgrounds. We both come to this work with a respect for many of the other classic Anglo-American approaches to voice. We've been there, we've done them, we include them, we believe in them. But for me, the Roy Hart approach to voice takes it into another realm. And that's what hooked me when I was first introduced to the Roy Hart voice work. I was just like, okay, this changes everything for me. And it did. It changed the way I taught. It changed my pedagogy. It opened up a lot of windows for me. And so Phil and I share that as training, as we are, two of the few, actually, for the few North American Roy Hart teachers. But we also bring our own backgrounds to it and our own unique ways of working. And so I think that that's a gift for me to be able to come and work with Phil again.
For people that may not know the Roy Hart Center, can you just give like a small description of kind of where it comes from and what it means?
Phil?
Throwing it to me.
No, I'm happy to. I just talked a lot.
I'll talk some. So I guess the seat of the work was with a man named Alfred Wolfson, who was a singer and who had been was injured in the First World War, and the sounds of humans in crisis became something that followed him home in
Mm,
his trauma, and he began to rather than doing what you might call a talking cure, the Freudian talking cure, he developed for himself a singing cure. The idea that embodying all of the sounds of humanity would help him towards his healing. And one of his students was a man named Roy Hart, who was an actor. And so as the 50s and 60s started to develop uh, more experimental ways of looking at voice and music and theater, Roy Hart and his students developed it into a theater that they ended up in a chateau in France that is now the Roy Hart Voice Center. And this idea of the human voice, Wolfson used the phrase vox humana, which is just Latin for human voice, that all of the voice is something that everyone could be a part of. That my version of it is everybody is included in the human voice and included to try to express that. So it's very physical, lots of imagination, it has roots in theater and singing and opera, but people come to the Roy Hart Center from all over the world, from all kinds of different backgrounds, with a desire to explore and encounter their voice and themselves through the voice. And one of the main tools that they use and that we use is a piano, because a piano is kind of an eight-octave guide to possibilities of the voice. And so the piano is not a accompanying instrument, but rather a little guide, a little map that one can use to find what are the possibilities here over several octaves, and that's a part of that. So that would be, and just again, the Roy Hart Center in southern France is a pretty special place. It's kind of a magical place, and so that's another one of my feelings about going to WildHeart, as I feel like those places that are apart, those kind of separated spaces from life that are filled with nature, can be just powerful places to encounter yourself and your voice. I'm going to just say that too. What I leave
Hmm.
out,
wow.
Maria? What I leave out?
Wow, that was great. You know what? I love what the last thing you just said was encountering yourself and your voice. And I may have said this as I've been blurbling on, but it really is about encountering yourself. We don't have an idea of what you should sound like, nor do we have a cultural idea because we all come with our cultural biases.
Hmm.
And we intentionally work without those cultural biases as much as it's humanly possible so that you're encountering your own voice. And among the things that you said that sparked something in me, Phil, was that in one group of people, you can have people who are experienced classical singers and people who have hardly ever used their voice because the nature of the work is so individual that everybody works in their own way, much as the same is in my unboundaried voice workshops. There are people from theater and people from psychology and who don't even know why they're there. The title was curious, and they somehow everybody finds their way to work together and support each other. And we work with where we are that day. So you can bring a great expertise or you can bring no expertise, but you're all bringing your humanity and your questions and your curiosity about yourself in the world. And so I love that about this work, that we can be working with people of all different experience levels. Yeah.
But with people that may be kind of hesitant to kind of go to a retreat like this, like voice exploration, like what does that mean? Like how would you approach kind of someone that's on the fence, that doesn't know how what it means to go into this unknown work?
A desire to just kind of make sound is really enough. The desire to explore something, that there's something there in the voice that you don't know about or maybe want to play with. It can be play, it can be that's really in a sense enough. And but there may also be people who are more come from a more a physical kinesthetic background because really the we the breath, body, voice all kind of come together and move between each other. And even just the curiosity. Some of the people in workshops have just been simply curious about, well, what's there? What does that mean? Or where they like to sing, or sometimes they used to like to sing, or they want to they want to speak, but they feel like the world around them kind of keeps them down, or they were told they couldn't sing. And all of those people are would be wonderful part because it's going to be it's the group of people is going to be so interesting of where they come from and who they are and how they encounter their voice and really and even wanting to come to listen for the voice is something that sometimes in a workshop somebody will do more listening than voicing if that's what their encounter with the voice is that day. So those are some of my random thoughts. What do you think, Maria?
Well, yeah, right along with that. I mean, I think there are so many people out there who really would love to express themselves
Mm.
vocally. I mean, we use the word singing, but we use singing very broadly.
Right.
It is not the way a lot of Americans think of standing at the piano and singing a song and singing it right. And that is not what we do. Not that we have anything against that, but one of the beautiful things about this work is that it invites people who simply maybe they've been told maybe they're afraid to use their voice. They've been told they can't sing. They've been told they don't have a nice voice. They don't even know what all the mysteries, what the possibilities are, because they've never felt confident that they can explore it. And I think it's important that because we make a space for everybody, you don't there's no kind of hierarchy of, oh well, you have a better voice than me, or we're not judging that because we're not looking for a specific kind of sound. We are looking for, how do we excavate and how do we open the windows, throw them open for you to find your sounds. And because we fundamentally believe that there are no wrong sounds,
Mhm.
there are no bad notes, it opens the door for freedom. And once we're free, who knows what kind of sounds we may be able to enter into.
I know it's not exactly set in stone. You know, you guys are very experienced teachers, very malleable and flexible with who comes in the space. But what can someone expect throughout this kind of weekend journey, like a very basic schedule? Let's say if someone were to be interested in coming.
Well, we pretty much start the morning with opening up the body, connecting to the body, to the breath, moving the body, warming the body up, exploring that way. We work with improvisation so that we're playing together. People are interacting right away with each other to get to know each other, to get comfortable with each other, to sound together. Sounding, and by that I don't mean something specific like a specific notes and specific songs, but sounding together, exploring with their imagination and their bodies being the guide. And then we will break into small groups where we do work at the piano, where each person has a chance to go deeper into their own sounds, what's available to them that day, or what's interesting to them, or what happened in a dream that they would like to explore vocally. Um, and then we'll come back together again at the end of the day to do some other fun work together. You want to add something to that?
No, I think that's it. I think that's what we're talking about.
Perfect. And kind of to send it home, what do you really hope people take away once completing this weekend with you guys?
Well, one of the things I love to hear on the when people write their responses to a workshop is I love to hear people say, I used my voice in a way I never knew I could use it. I
Mhm.
experienced giving voice in a way I never have before. I had no idea I had such sounds inside of me. Um, People talking about it was just pure joy. It was just so fun and joyous. And I think for me, that's why I do it, because it really is about bringing people into a space where they can go deeper and find more and enjoy it. You know that there's a Rumi poem that we put in our information, and that sums it up for me, that there's a field out there somewhere where there's no right or wrong doing. So let's meet there and see what happens. And what comes out of that can just be really magical for people. And also, it allows people to get in touch with some deep emotion that very often people don't even know how to get in touch with. And we are able and willing to hold a space for that kind of vocalizing that might have a big emotional response.
Beautiful.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. Yeah, and I think what I would add to that is also a connection to other people with their voices, the
Mm.
connecting to other human beings through the voice. That's something that I think is not doesn't happen as much in our culture currently, to really meet and encounter people and make and have relationships, a vocal relationship in a way with other human beings. And to hopefully that community taking that back, that sense of community to enrich their lives at home. I would say the other thing that I really do like and that I hope will happen kind of during and then maybe after the workshop is that when I teach a class in this mode, when the great joy I have is that the students are continuing to voice and sing out to the door and into the hallway and down the corridor, and I just hear the and so I hope that that would kind of as we finish sessions, people just walk out the door and continue singing to the lake and the bonfire.
Yes.
Off at the end, off to the train station and to the airport, singing away and voicing away, and that would give me a lot of joy.
I have no doubt about that. No doubt at all.
If you're curious about this, just come. If you're thinking about it, if you have any impulse, and it just sounds like if you feel drawn in any way, come. You are welcome. Everyone is welcome.
Yes.
Amen.
You heard it from Phil and Maria. Just come. Just come. It will be September 17th to the 20th with Phil Timberlake and Marya Lowry. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to interview with me. Voice Explorers, journey deep into your voice. Registration is open now. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
Thank, thank you.